Hello my friend, welcome back in our channel. Let me share gold text, BTT. Don't forget to leave your comment and subscribe for other dates. The world of crypto is full of whispers, rumors, and sudden shocks that can make your heart race faster than your favorite song. When it comes to BitTorrent token, the story is not just about numbers on a chart. It is about the daily drama of survival, growth, and hope. Today, as we look at the current price of BTT at $0.0000006147, we find ourselves standing at a curious crossroad. Yesterday told a different story, a tale of dips and uncertainty, but today has arrived with a little twist, a modest rise of about plus 3.44% in the past 24 hours. It may sound small, almost invisible to the naked eye, yet in the unpredictable market of digital assets, this is no small gesture. Crypto traders know one truth. Momentum can start from the tiniest flicker. Yesterday's low gave skeptics more ammunition, but today's subtle push has given optimists a fresh reason to whisper, maybe BTT is preparing for something bigger. Now, let's treat this moment not as dry data, but as a story worth retelling. Imagine BTT as an underdog athlete, stumbling in the previous round but entering the arena today with a slightly stronger posture. The crowd, unsure whether to cheer or stay silent, leans forward to see if this momentum can last. The uniqueness of today's prediction lies in this duality. Yesterday reminded us of the coin's fragility, while today shows us its resilience. This marriage of two timelines, yesterday's fall and today's mini rise, creates the rhythm of our forecast. Looking ahead, the possibilities are intriguing. If the positive energy continues, we could see BTT stretch towards the next resistance level. Traders might not throw their entire wallets at it yet, but cautious accumulation could begin. Think of it as planting seeds during spring. You don't see the flowers immediately, but you know growth is possible if the conditions remain kind. Of course, no prediction is complete without addressing the darker side. BTT remains highly vulnerable to sudden swings, and its low unit price makes it a playground for both hopeful dreamers and ruthless whales. A single market-wide shock could easily erase today's gains and push it back into yesterday's shadow. But here's the artistic truth. The essence of prediction is not certainty, but narrative. And today's narrative is one of contrast. The coin has whispered to us, yesterday I stumbled, today I rose. Tomorrow, I may surprise you. For those holding BTT, the message is simple, watch the momentum closely. The fact that today's price has edged upward suggests that buyers are not yet tired, and some degree of confidence is flowing back into the token. This is not a signal for wild celebrations, but it is an invitation to stay awake. If we stretch the vision further, BTT's recovery potential lies in its foundation. The BitTorrent ecosystem remains relevant, its use case is not a myth, and the project has a history of revivals after downturns. Each small upward move plants a psychological seed in the market. Perhaps the token is undervalued, perhaps its time will come again. In conclusion, today's forecast is neither euphoric nor hopeless. It is balanced, realistic, and tinged with a little humor. The coin is still dancing on a thin wire, but at least it is dancing upward instead of falling flat. Yesterday gave us doubt, today offers us a wink, and tomorrow, well, tomorrow is waiting to write its own headline. So, when you read this in your morning news feed, remember this key detail. BTT at $0.0000006147, up by plus 3.44% compared to yesterday. That is today's heartbeat, today's key. Predictions may shift, charts may bend, but the story remains alive. The lesson here is simple. The crypto market is like a theater play with no final script. Yesterday's scene was cloudy. Today's scene has a brighter spotlight, and as long as BTT keeps moving, the audience will keep watching. When the curtains fall on today's market performance, BitTorrent token does not leave the stage quietly. It lingers, it winks at the audience, and it whispers its story in the most unusual way. The numbers may appear small to the impatient eye, 6 decimal places tucked neatly into $0.0000006147, and a 24-hour change of just plus 3.44%. Yet to those who read charts like novels, this is a chapter filled with hints, metaphors, and foreshadowing. Yesterday was the antagonist, today is the turning point, and tomorrow remains the undiscovered page. The unique power of this moment is that it allows us to see how fragile confidence can suddenly become strength. Yesterday's hesitation was a mirror of market exhaustion. Traders shrugged, whales slept, and the token floated in quiet uncertainty. Then, without a trumpet, today arrived. The candle chart showed a tiny rise, not enough to ignite fireworks, but enough to make long-term holders smile in the privacy of their wallets. For them, this was not just price action. It was validation that the story is not over. Why does this matter? Because in the crowded stadium of crypto, psychology is more powerful than numbers. The crowd's mood defines the tempo of the coin's dance. Yesterday, the music was slow, the lights dim, and the crowd almost dispersed. Today, the tempo shifted slightly upward. A small drumbeat began. It told everyone, "Stay seated. The play is not over." BTT has always lived in this paradox. Cheap enough to attract dreamers, risky enough to scare professionals, useful enough to survive, but volatile enough to test patience. Its low price creates both hope and disbelief. Some laugh at its fraction of a cent valuation, while others see it as a golden lottery ticket in disguise. The market, however, does not laugh or cry. It simply moves. And today, it moved just enough to remind us that predictions are not about certainties. They are about possibilities. So what can we predict? With today's rise, the short-term narrative points toward cautious optimism. The token may continue testing upward momentum, especially if volume aligns with sentiment. If the community remains engaged, and if the wider market avoids shocks, BTT might aim to test slightly higher resistances. But the true uniqueness lies not in the exact price target, but in the balance between yesterday's weakness and today's quiet recovery. The market has shown that even after small declines, rebounds are possible, and momentum can emerge from silence. The humor in all this is that while some investors are celebrating today's plus 3.44% as if they won a championship, others dismiss it with a shrug. What's a few microfractions of a cent? Yet those microfractions are the heartbeat of crypto. Entire fortunes have been made not from one giant leap, but from countless small steps accumulated over time. BTT's current step may look like nothing to outsiders, but to insiders it feels like a pulse, a reminder that the project is breathing. Let's stretch the metaphor. Imagine BTT as a marathon runner who stumbled yesterday, scraping its knee on the pavement. Spectators shook their heads. Some even left the stands. But today, the runner stood up, wiped off the dust, and continued running. It's not sprinting yet, but it's moving forward. That single act of continuing is, in itself, victory. The audience leans back into their seats, whispering, "What if this runner finishes the race after all?" In the medium term, traders may look for patterns of accumulation. As the coin proves it can survive dips, faith can slowly rebuild. Predicting BTT's future is like predicting the weather. Storms are inevitable, but so are sunny breaks. Today's sunshine, faint as it may be, tells us that hope is still alive. And let's not forget the wider theater of crypto. When Bitcoin sneezes, altcoins like BTT catch a cold.